I shall hear that call from heaven's portals. Come on home, my child, that's the last mile you must trod. I'll fall asleep and wake in God's sweet heaven, for I'm sheltered in the arms of God. So let the storms rage high, the dark clouds rise, they don't worry me, for I'm sheltered safe within the arms of God. He walks with me, and no thunder shall harm me, for I'm sheltered in the arms of God. For I'm sheltered in the arms of God.
Sheltered in the Arms of God, one of my favorite songs all time. Let the dark clouds rise, let the troubles come, they don't bother me, for I'm sheltered safe in the arms of God. Do you trust God? Do you believe what he says? Proverbs chapter 3, we often take a couple of verses out of there and quote them, but I want to share with you the context of this chapter in the Bible this morning. Proverbs chapter 3, the writer says this, my son, forget not my law, but let thine heart keep my commandments. Talking about honoring the word of God and believing it and trusting it. For length of days and long life and peace shall they add to thee. Let not mercy and truth forsake thee. Bind them about thy neck, write them upon the tables of thine heart. So shalt thou find favor and good understanding in the sight of God and man. I don't know anybody that doesn't want to have a good life while we're here on earth. And he tells us right here how to have length of days, how to have a long life, how to have peace through that life, how to have favor and good understanding in the sight of God and man. And then we come to those verses that we like so much. You see, these promises that were being read to you earlier are all going to be the result of something else that we do. Verse 4. Going to verse 5 is where I'm going, okay? Trust in the Lord with all thine heart, and lean not unto thine own understanding. In all thy ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct thy path. Well, if we honor God and his word, if we keep it close to our heart and live by it, he promises then that if we'll trust in God, he will lead us. It says, trust in the Lord with all thine heart. Lean not unto thine own understanding. In all thy ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct our paths. Wonderful promise from God about the word of God, about the way and the walk with God, and about then the wealth that we have. He said, if you'll keep these things close to you, the word of God, if you'll trust in him, you'll not be worrying about the things that you need in life. God promises he'll supply those needs and take care of us in that time. Well, Proverbs chapter 3 tells us a lot of truths there that we need to remember this morning. Be encouraged by those things. Are you sheltered in the arms of God? If you are, then he promises you that if you will stay in his word, believe his word, and trust in him, he'll make your way good as you go through life. All things may not be good, but all things will work together for good to those who love God and are called according to his purpose. I hope that'll encourage you a little bit this morning. It sure has me as I think about who God is and what he's done for us. I cannot help but remember that if I will trust in the Lord with all my heart, lean not to mine own understanding. Don't try to be smarter than I am in the ways of God, because he knows what's right and best for me, and I could never know that. And so we trust him. And the way we trust him is we look out and we realize that he has us in his arms, And regardless of what comes, let the storm clouds rise, the dark clouds, those that would bring trouble into our lives, hard rain, storms, in other words. They don't bother us if we're trusting in God. Why? Because He said that if we trust in Him with all our heart and lean not to our own understanding, He will direct our paths. He will take care of us. We know that. He will take care of us. That's encouraging. I hope you'll be encouraged by that today. I am, knowing that God has promised, and what God promises, He will never fail in those things. He'll give them to you just as He promised. Well, you have a good day, and please join us next time we have another encouragement video right here. Bye-bye now.